Good morning and welcome to the workshop Transfer to University, CSU, and UC. We are very excited to welcome you to our 9th annual Feria de Educación. Although these times are difficult and uncertain, we are proud to provide this service to our Spanish-speaking community in a virtual and interactive way. My name is Lilia Contreras, and I currently serve as Retention Specialist for the College Assistant Migrant Program at Sacramento State, and I will be your host this morning. First, I want to thank the sponsors of this virtual event, Los Rios Community College District, Zocalo Restaurant, and US Bank. Without the generosity of our sponsors, Feria de Educación would not be possible. Before we get started, I want to give you a quick overview of today's event and mention a few housekeeping items. In a minute, our presenters will provide you with information about educational options after college. This workshop will provide transfer students with an overview of the California State University CSU and University of California UC systems. Participants will learn about the difference between the two systems. There will be a time for questions at the end, but if you have questions during the presentation, use the chat box function located at the bottom of your screen. Please send your questions to Feria co-moderator. Also, we have enabled captioning or live transcription during the workshop. You can view the transcripts at the bottom of your screen. A set of options is available for attendees by clicking the small arrow on the live transcript button. These options allow attendees to view and adjust transcriptions. As you can imagine, a virtual gathering with dozens of people can get a bit messy, and with the video and audio enabled for everyone. Therefore, all participants will remain muted and cameras off throughout the workshop. Now, I want to invite you to complete a short poll. Please complete the question that you see on your screen. We will go ahead and leave the poll up for a few seconds. All right, great. Thank you so much, everyone. Fantastic. Thank you all again for participating in the poll. Now, I have the pleasure of introducing today's presenters. We have Carlos Rubio and Stephanie Reyes, who present the California State University CSU system, and Pamela Blanco, who represents the University of California UC system. Without further ado, please help me welcome our first presenters, Carlos Rubio and Stephanie Reyes.
Hello, everyone. Hola a todos, ¿cómo están? Gracias por estar aquí con nosotros. We're so happy to have you all here today. My name is Stephanie Reyes Alcalá. I'm one of the admissions advisors here at Sacramento State. And here, co-hosting with me is my colleague, Carlos Rubio.
All right, buenos dias, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here this morning. I am excited that we have almost a full room, quote unquote. So welcome. I hope you have a lot of questions, and we are here. So unwind, relax, get comfortable, get your cup of coffee, and absorb as much information as possible. And please do present some questions. So thanks for your participation.
Thank you. Okay. So hopefully you all can see that now. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and start talking about the California State Universities and all that we have to offer. Thank you once again for being here. And any questions that you all have, I am more than happy to answer, as well as Carlos Rubio in the end, whether it be in English or in Spanish, we're here to help. Okay, so our agenda, what we're going to be going ahead and talking about are the California college systems, what we can offer from the CSUs, admissions requirements, important dates, and any tips that will help you for success as a student in the CSUs. So some of the benefits of attending a CSU is that we take a hands-on approach, okay? We have moderate sized classroom sizes. So here at Sacramento State, we do have a 24 student to 1 professor ratio. Obviously that differentiates depending on which CSU you plan on attending. We're very diverse, we're accessible, and we have many, many majors to offer. So how exactly do you go about choosing a CSU college? Some things that you want to keep into consideration are the size, the location, the costs, whether or not they have on-campus housing, whether it's a sports program affiliated college, depending on if you are interested in playing sports at that college, and the campus life. So every CSU is going to have a different campus life in a different environment. Okay. And then once again, if you are interested in applying, you want to make sure to see if it's an impacted or a non-impacted campus, and I'll definitely go over that later on. We are 23 strong. So what does that mean? We have 23 different CSUs located in California. Like I mentioned before, we're diverse, we're affordable, and we currently serve over 430,000 students across California. And once again, we're focused on job placement. We are very hands-on. So location does matter. Anywhere in California, wherever you are, you can find a CSU within 2 hours away. Obviously in Sacramento, we are located in the heart of the capital, but if you go down to Bakersfield or San Diego, or even up top in Humboldt, we have a university there ready for you to attend, okay? So the Central Coast, San Luis Obispo, the ocean, Long Beach. If you're wanting a larger city, you can check out San Jose. And if you're wanting something more rural, definitely Humboldt. So when you are choosing a location to attend for school, just keep in mind, you'll possibly be living here if you're a transfer student, 2 years. If you have family who are planning on attending as first-time freshmen, 4 years. So definitely keep the location in mind. And like I mentioned before, the size does matter. So if you're trying to attend a university that has a smaller size campus, you're going to want to look at Humboldt, Monterey Bay, and Channel Islands. If you're looking for something more on the medium size range, East Bay, San Luis Obispo, San Bernardino, and then larger campuses, like I mentioned before, San Jose, Northridge, and Fullerton. Keep in mind that the larger the campus is, there will be more cost added onto it, just because if it's a larger campus, more students that they have to have resources for, and a bit of a higher cost. So what exactly can you study at the CSUs? We have from aviation to education to nursing, animation, illustration, and these are just a few of the lists offered. So there are tons of different majors. And like I mentioned before, depending on where you're at in location, you will have more resources to a specific major that you want to study at. Definitely at Sacramento State, nursing is one of our impacted majors, and that is because we have plenty of hospitals within the area, whether it be Sutter, Kaiser, Mercy. There's definitely a high demand for nursing at Sacramento State. But then if you go somewhere else, as far as aviation, Cal Poly, they definitely have aerospace engineering to learn from. So depending on the major that you want to fulfill, you might find different resources at different schools. Life at the CSU. So we do offer on-campus housing. We have different clubs, associated student organizations, study abroad programs. Definitely with COVID going on, you want to check in with the campus to see what they're doing as far as with the study abroad programs. And then campus job opportunities. I definitely recommend that if you're planning on attending one of the CSUs, that you look out for employment on campus. There's nothing like having an employer who understands the flexibility that you need as a student to do great with your educational career. I know that as a student, you can work as little as 10 hours a week, and in the summer times up to 40 hours a week, depending on where it is that you're being employed on campus. But definitely that's one of my biggest recommendations when you are attending a CSU, is to try to find employment within the school. And some more campus resources. If you're needing more extra support with writing, we have writing centers. We have academic advising, both general and by department, which is, double support. Like I said before, the student study abroad programs, disability student services, food pantries, and this is just to list a few. So the Sacramento State, yes, of course, but the CSUs as well do a wonderful job of having several resources for students. And how exactly is it that you are going to pay for college? That really just depends on your financial stance at the moment. But we do have opportunities such as financial aid for grants, work study, scholarship, and loans. So out of those four, the only ones that you have to pay back are the loans. So if you're a student who's applicable for financial aid, definitely recommend, whether you think you are or not, to apply and turn that in, because like I said, there's grants, work study, and scholarship that is allocated for you and your learning degree. And the only ones that you have to pay back are loans, okay? This here is just a general chart of cost of attendance if you were to attend the Sacramento State University. Obviously, like I said before, if you're attending one of the larger universities, then these numbers might flex. If you're attending one of the smaller ones, it might flex as well. I see Carlos has his hand up. Yes, Carlos. Carlos, was there something that you wanted to add? I think you're muted.
My apologies. I was saying that, when you look at this slide, please don't be afraid by the total amount. Keep in mind that most of it is going to be covered by FAFSA if you happen to be eligible. A lot of times students see the bottom figures and they kind of like, oh my goodness, it's too expensive. Relax, unwind, apply for FAFSA and see what kind of services they will provide and what they're going to pay for. So please continue getting the information. It's really good, Stephanie. Thank you.
Awesome. That is so correct. As a student myself, never did I ever pay $1,970 for books and supplies. Definitely recommend that you check out your library or that you rent them through an online source. But this is just, a more exaggerated amount, just so that you can see what it might be to cover, what you might need to cover your costs while you're in school. And like I said, definitely check in with each CSU. I'm more 100% sure that they do have their individualized tuition fees on their websites, okay? All right, and so what exactly is impaction? A lot of the time students, they're not exactly aware that if a degree or a major that you're wanting to go into is impacted, they don't know that they have higher standards to get into that degree or into that impacted major or school. So for instance, if you are planning on attending one of the Super 7 schools that I'll list in the following slides, they're going to ask that your GPA be higher than if you were to come into a school that was non-impacted. So just know that we don't necessarily ask that you submit essays or anything of that sort. But if it is an impacted major, regardless of whatever CSU you go to, or if it's an impacted campus, then we might ask you to have a higher GPA, okay? So these are the Super 7 campuses that I mentioned previously. Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, Fresno State, Fullerton, Long Beach, Los Angeles, San Diego State, and San Jose State. Why are they impacted? Obviously, there are plenty of students within these areas who are either interested in attending because they have special degrees that they offer, or because they're simply an impacted and a busy city. Los Angeles is very busy, and so therefore they have a lot of applicants who are wanting to attend. So at these Super 7 campuses, all undergraduate programs, pre-programs, undeclared, and undecided programs are impacted. So if these schools are something that might look like a location that you might want to attend, definitely look into more about impaction on their websites before you make that decision. And then, of course, we have non-impacted campuses: CSU Bakersfield, Channel Islands, Dominguez Hills, Stanislaus, Humboldt, San Francisco State, and California Maritime Academy. These here are non-impacted. So once again, because they're non-impacted, your GPA might not necessarily have to be as high as a 3-point something, but it really just depends by school, okay?
Yeah, I also want to add, Stephanie, that the impaction criteria, don't be nervous about that as well. Impaction just means there's too many students wanting to get into that field, but not everyone gets in. However, if you're one of those students that are go-getters, have an excellent GPA and extracurricular activities, chances are you're going to get in. And not only that, if you come in as a freshman, you have 2 years to really make it happen. So impaction may be a bit of an issue for some, and some of you may not even know what that means when it comes to school. But impaction truly is something just saying, prepare yourself, do your best, because this is going to be competitive. So I wanted to add that.
Yes, perfect. One of the best ways that I was trying to, that I was able to understand it is, let's just say, for example, there are 100 seats, but this university can only take 50 people in those seats. So out of all of those 100, we need to see the best from only 50 so that we can provide resources to those 50. So definitely, like Carlos had mentioned, do not be intimidated. If you've done everything that you can to this point and you are interested in genuinely applying to these impacted schools, definitely go ahead and do so. But I also recommend, don't be afraid to apply to other schools, okay? And now the big question, transfer requirements. How exactly do I get into a CSU? What do I need to do? Aside from the impaction, which is a whole different thing, if you are wanting to get into any of the CSUs, we do ask that you have at least 60 transferable semester units or 90 transferable quarter units, okay? And then you need to complete 30 semester or 45 quarter units of general education, including the 4 basic skill courses, which are also known as the Golden 4. If you have not heard of the Golden 4 before, right now is a great time to speak to one of your college counselors at the community college. Hey, have I completed the Golden 4? Because if you do not have those Golden 4 courses completed within a specific time, it might impact your chances of getting into a CSU. So the A1 is an oral communication course, and A2 is a written composition course. Sorry, the A3 is a critical thinking course, and a B4 is a mathematic course above intermediate algebra. Okay, so those 4 are very, very important to make sure that you have crossed out, that you have completed, because you will need to have them done before transferring to a CSU. Who can answer that for you? You can try to go on assist.org and find it yourself, but I always recommend speaking to one of your counselors. And then obviously, depending on the school, have a qualifying GPA and be in good standing your last semester before transferring over. No academic probation or disqualification whatsoever. Okay, and then here we have the associate degree for transfer at the CSUs. I myself was a student who received an associate degree for transfer myself, and I can definitely attest to the fact that it made transferring that much more easier. And then it also included additional benefits when I got to the CSU. I was able to waive an English 20 class, and then I was also able to get a 0.1 boost GPA upon entering to Sacramento State. They have different transfer degrees that you can obtain, whether it be sociology. Carlos, did you want to add some more of the degrees that we have for the ADT?
Yes, thank you. And I just want to tell you that the associate of arts degree, it's definitely the path or the degree that we prefer, because as many of you know, you want a pattern. You want to make sure that you know what you're supposed to take every semester. The ADT, an associates of transfers from a community college, we honor it. You will do half of your degree for a fraction of the price. And I want to make sure that you understand that, so that when you get to the community college, and that's the route you take, you talk to your counselor and you ask about it. Bottom line is, if you come to us with an associate degree for transfers, you have done half of your bachelor's degree for a true good fraction of the money that you would pay otherwise. So look into it. If you have any questions, again, bring them to us, or check with me at a later point, or Stephanie or your counselor at the community colleges. So thank you for bringing that up, Stephanie.
Yes, of course. One last perk about the ADT is that a lot of the times these associate's degree for transfers allow you to complete some of the prerequisites needed, so that when you do transfer, you transfer in with the prereqs done and you're ready to go full on towards your upper division courses. So if you're not already en route to complete an associate's degree for transfer, definitely reach out to your community college counselor. Hey, what's an ADT? And in which degree or which major can I get it? Okay. And so for the Cal State Apply, how do I actually apply? Our website for the application is calstate.edu/apply. And the application actually opened today at 6 a.m. So if you are interested in wanting more support, you can definitely reach out to the Sacramento State Admissions Office. I'm sure that the other CSUs do have admissions advisors who are ready to assist you as well. As far as deadlines go, when does the application close? It will depend by CSU. Here at Sacramento State, we will be extending the deadline to December 15th. But if you're planning on attending a different CSU, I definitely recommend that you go onto their website or you reach out to them and see when their deadline is. Yes, Carlos.
You know, I just want to add, I know time is coming for us, but UC Davis has a lot of information. I do want to encourage you to attend our next workshop where we're going to go into detail about admissions eligibility as an incoming freshman or a transfer student. So whatever choice you make is going to be the right choice as long as you do not stop now. So continue on with your journey. So again, thanks for the time. Stephanie, I know you're gonna have some closing remarks, but I appreciate you taking the time to listen to us. And again, we're here to serve you. So make sure you make the most of your time here.
Thank you so much. And so we're just going to go ahead and, like Carlos said, because of time, I do invite you all to visit the calstate.edu application, their website. If you do need to reach out to an admissions advisor, once again, we're here. Y muchísimas gracias for being here. And yeah, thank you so much. And if you have questions, feel free to reach out and I will hand it over to the UCs. Thanks.
Thank you, Carlos and Stephanie. This is great information, you know, about the CSU and UC system. But before we transition to the Q&A session, we would love for participants to fill out a survey that it will show on your screen. Please take a moment to complete it. Your feedback will help us to continue to improve our workshops and events in the future. We'll take a few minutes. Well, thank you everyone for submitting your responses. It's time to open the floor to questions and answers. Once again, if you have any questions for any presenters, please type them in the chat box at the bottom of your screen. Remember that you will have the presenters to answer questions you may have. Okay, there's one question. If I attend a CSU after graduating high school, can I transfer to a UC at some point?
I think that's a question for Pam.
I was going to say, would you like me to answer that?
Yes, please.
Yeah, so that's a great question. We get, that's a very popular question. We do have some students that transfer from a CSU. However, the highest priority is given to students who are coming from a California community college.
Great, thank you. Another question, is one educational system better than the other?
Hey, and Pam, feel free to pitch in, Stephanie as well. I frankly, my personal belief is that it doesn't matter where you go. The school doesn't make the individuals make the school. Now, what you got to think about is which school are you looking for? Stephanie mentioned at the beginning, are you looking for a more research inclined? Are you looking for hands-on? You want to be a police officer, you want to be a nurse, you want to research. So bottom line, you know, I couldn't speak highly enough of all the wonderful schools we have around us. But at the end of the day, it is your personal choice. You want a small campus, a large campus. And again, this is why you're here today, to explore and find out which one is the best suitable university of choice. Pam, anything else you'd like to add, or Stephanie?
I agree, that a good fit is important, making sure that, the university that you're choosing has, the major that you're interested in, all the different opportunities that you're looking for in a college experience. Do they offer internships? Do they have research? Do they have the support that you need as a student at that university? All of that is really important. I think where you complete your degree is not as relevant. It matters, that, it fits you and your personality and your needs.
I definitely agree. And like I mentioned before, location. Right now we're online and everything's virtual, but moving forward, do you envision yourself living in the city for the next 2-3 years? That definitely has an impact on who you are and what you can do while you're in school. Definitely associate yourself with the campus, but like I said before, location. Pay attention to where it is that you want to call home for the next few years.
Well, and now I would like to introduce Pamela Blanco from UC Davis. She's going to do a presentation.
All right, thank you so much, Roxana. Hello, everyone. Good morning again. My name is Pam Blanco. I am the Associate Director for the Transfer Opportunity Program at UC Davis Undergraduate Admissions. Thank you all for being here. I just want to make sure that you know that you are doing yourself a huge favor. I just want to congratulate all of you for being here and really looking at the different options that you have available in higher education. And I am very honored to be here with you all to share this information about the UC system and about UC Davis specifically. So we will start with some general information about the University of California system. So the UC is one of the largest university systems in the world. We offer undergraduate and graduate programs, and we are located all across the state. So as a public institution, our focus and commitment over the past 150 years and moving forward into the future continues to be California residents. We know that our excellence, innovation, and community engagement extends beyond California throughout the world. UC teaches at both the undergraduate and graduate level. We offer over 700 different majors across academic disciplines in the arts, humanities, social sciences, physical and biological sciences, business, administration, and engineering, and so much more. We are a world-class research university, meaning you will be exposed to new ideas and pioneering efforts that lead to practical knowledge and innovations that benefit the world. Students engage in research in art, dance, music, history, economics, sociology, psychology, and many other areas, in addition to research in life and physical sciences. And UC provides public service. Since our founding, serving the people of California and the world has been at the core of the University of California. So no matter which of our campuses you graduate from, you will have that prestige of earning a UC degree. So I do want to show this screenshot of the different locations of the UC campuses. Stephanie talked about looking at the locations. So UC Davis is the northernmost campus. Then we have UC Berkeley, UC Merced, UC Santa Cruz, UC Santa Barbara, Riverside, UCLA, UC Irvine, and UC San Diego as the most southern campus. We also have medical centers at some of our UC campuses. UC Davis has a med center, med school right here in Sacramento, as some of you may already know. UC Irvine, UCLA, UC San Diego, and UC San Francisco all have medical schools as well. We have some campuses that have law schools, if any of you are interested in going into law. So UC Berkeley, UC Davis also has a law school, UC Irvine, UCLA, and UC Hastings College of Law, which is located in San Francisco. And then we also have 3 national labs. There's the Lawrence Berkeley Lab, the Los Alamos Lab, and the Lawrence Livermore Lab. All right, so as you consider which of our campuses you might apply to, Consider majors offered at each campus, the location, size of the campus, and the full array of opportunities available at each campus. We encourage you to apply broadly to the university. We offer a variety of majors, and the names of the majors often differ across campuses. So keep that in mind. You should be able to answer questions such as, which campuses offer my major of choice? What are the differences between the names of the majors and the departments in which they are located? What are the differences between majors at different campuses? What does this mean for me? We have campuses across the state offering different settings to foster students, educational and professional exploration and discovery. UC offers a range of options to meet students' needs and expectations for their college environment. Campus size is also an important consideration. Some students want to feel the feel of a large, busy campus, while others thrive on smaller campuses. So, be sure to do your research to get to know these campuses well before you apply to them. Okay, so I also want to show you some of the ways, these are just a small sampling of the different resources that we have at our campuses. We do support all students. For transfer students, for instance, almost 1/3 of our UC undergraduates are transfer students, mostly coming from the California Community College system, like I mentioned earlier. All campuses have new transfer orientation, transfer centers, transfer student organizations, and transfer housing. Except right now for Merced, which I believe is being built. So at UC Davis, for example, we do offer transfer housing, and it is guaranteed for 2 years. We have support from academic advising to mental health and wellness, transfer services and programs that actively support transfer student transition and success. We have a first-gen initiative. 41% of UC undergraduate students are first-gen students. 49% of first-generation students are African-American, Latino Chicano, or American Indian. And 80% graduate within 6 years if they are coming in, especially if they're coming in as a freshman, compared to 11% nationally. So that's a pretty high success and completion rate. Every UC campus has an array of programs and services to empower first-generation students to get the most out of their education. And this includes helping build network, provide academic housing and financial services, and connecting students with research, internship, community service, and study abroad opportunities. We have resources for underrepresented students. 29% of all UC undergraduates come from traditionally underrepresented backgrounds. And all of our campuses are either Hispanic serving institutions or are in the process of earning that designation. So cultivating a diverse community of scholars means building a supportive learning community, helping students succeed, fostering a climate of respect and dignity, and empowering students to explore and express their identity while encountering a wide range of perspectives. And all campuses have programs to help students from traditionally underrepresented backgrounds succeed. Some of you have heard of the Educational Opportunity Program. So all of the campuses have an Educational Opportunity Program and student support services, academic advancement programs. Yeah, so there's definitely a lot of resources and help. There's no shortage of that within the UC system. Undocumented students, UC campuses offer a range of support services from academic and personal counseling to financial and legal advising that can help balance being a full-time student while handling other day-to-day challenges you may face. In fact, every campus has designated staff or faculty members who can work with students to find the right support on campus and answer your questions. And each campus has a student group, club, or organization where you can find an encouraging peer network for undocumented students. We also have support, for students that have dependents. So if you have, children of your own, we have support to help you find and build community with other students who are supporting dependents. And these services may include referrals, information on schools, healthcare providers, healthcare options for children and elder care, summer programs for children. Oh, we see that every summer on campus. Childcare, I think I mentioned that already. Most campuses also offer family housing as part of the residential life experience. And we do have student family housing at Davis as well. Veterans, some of you may be veterans or military affiliated. So UC is one of the best public university systems that has a long history of welcoming student veterans and military personnel to our campuses. Whether you're a current or former member of the military, you'll find a supportive community dedicated to helping you succeed. Most of UC's veterans who enroll as undergraduates start at California Community College. And UC undergraduate veterans receive substantial grants and scholarships in addition to their VA education benefits, for which many student veterans are eligible. And more than 2,000 veterans and students are military affiliated, attend UC. We also have resources for underground scholars. So what is that? UC campuses with underground scholars programs create a pathway for formerly incarcerated and system impacted individuals into higher education. These programs are building a prison to school pipeline through recruitment, retention, and advocacy. The continued success of these programs directly challenge the stigmas associated with this population. And last but not least, Guardian Scholars. The Guardian Scholars program is committed to improving the educational outcomes for foster youth and former foster youth by providing services and support to meet their needs through transition, graduation, and postgraduate planning. The focus of the Guardian Scholars program is to build a welcoming community and to promote the wellness and academic achievement of foster youth students. Lots of advising and help available. Now I want to transition over to talk about the value of a UC education. Stephanie talked about the cost of attendance at CSU. And we have this just came out, I want to say like last week or maybe a couple of weeks ago. President Drake announced the tuition stability plan. So this is basically a freeze on your tuition for the duration of your college career and up to 6 years, up to six academic years. So whichever comes first. And it helps students and families minimize their unexpected increase in tuition. It allows UC to provide more financial aid to support low-income students and assure that UC will continue to be able to provide a world-class education with a focus on enrolling more California students from diverse backgrounds. I think this numbers are pretty significant to remember. Carlos said earlier, don't be afraid of, the cost of attendance because there is financial aid available. We really try to make it affordable for students. And the UC philosophy yields big results, for California students in particular. 55% of California students pay $0 in system-wide tuition and fees due to the financial aid that they receive. And nearly 3 out of 4 California students receive grants and scholarships to help reduce their cost. The average award is $17,000, the average award. And that's $3,000 more than the cost of the tuition and fees. So, you can use some of that financial aid to cover some of your other personal expenses as well. And 49% of California students graduate with no student loan debt. which is really cool. Okay, so at this time, I want to talk to you a little bit about UC Davis specifically. So, UC Davis is a leading public research university with top ranked programs and a global reputation of quality, learning, positive research impact, and environmental sustainability. We are #1 in the world in agricultural, economic, and policy, #1 in the country, and second in the world in veterinary science. And we're the 3rd greenest university in the world. And we're currently the 5th best public university in the nation. And the really cool thing is we're just right in your backyard. We're very close to Sacramento. And, like I said, planted between, the ocean and the mountains, UC Davis gives you space to thrive. It is the largest UC campus in terms of space, acreage. Proximity to Silicon Valley and Sacramento gives you access to California's tech and policy universe, San Francisco's cultural and urban landscape, Napa and Sonoma's wineries, Tahoe and Yosemite's hiking and skiing adventures are all within reach. My older daughter went to UC Davis, and we live nearby here in Woodland. It worked out really well for us, coming from Sacramento, Folsom, Elk Grove, wherever you are, you are far enough from home for independence, but you are close enough to easily join your family for holidays and school breaks, so I know how family is really important in our culture. So I think it's a win-win. We're also a college town. UC Davis is a true college town. Our campus is just a few minutes from our, downtown area. Nearly half of the population in the city of Davis are students. So, we're arguably one of the best college towns in the nation. The university and the city of Davis work closely together to make student experience easy, welcoming, and fun. We are one of the most bike-friendly places in the country, which means that it's easy to get around on 2 wheels because Davis is flat. We're in the valley. We also have a student-run bus system, Unitrans, which serves all of the city of Davis. And being a bus driver is a great student job. It's the highest paying student job that we have on campus. They'll train you, don't worry, how to drive those buses. The farmers market in Central Park is also one of the best farmers markets in the country, and it's a gathering place for students and families alike. And during these pandemic times, being a college town has been a huge asset. Living in a small town, having a large spread out campus means there's more space for everyone to be able to follow social distancing guidelines, but still get outside and get around. And our Unitrans bus system has continued to run safely, and our downtown student-friendly businesses and farmers market have been able to also open. Okay, so I'm gonna start to wrap up. This is just some information about our campus, looking at it in numbers. And we have over 100 majors at UC Davis, and they are divided into 4 different colleges: the College of Agricultural and Environmental Sciences, College of Biological Sciences, College of Letters and Science, and College of Engineering. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up due to lack of time, but please stay connected with us. Let's see. And join us for the next session, where we'll talk about the admissions, eligibility and requirements in a little greater detail. Also want to promote our program, the Transfer Opportunity Program. Visit us at ucdavis.edu top. And stay connected with us. We are on social media. Come and visit us on campus as well. We are open for tours, so please come and check us out and schedule a tour. And thank you all. Please feel free to email me if you have any specific questions about the transfer process or transferring to UC Davis specifically. Thank you for the time. Good luck to you all.
Thank you, Pam, for your presentation. We really appreciate all this great information that all of you have provided. But once again, we will appreciate your feedback specifically on this presentation. Can you please answer the question that appears on your screen?
Sorry, I don't see the question on my screen.
Okay. Please take a moment to complete it. Thank you for submitting your responses. And that basically concludes our presentation. And I just want to make sure that if you have any other questions, please send an email at feria@csus.edu. We have a lot more workshops happening today and tomorrow, and you can check out the agenda by returning to the 360 platform to view what's coming up. In addition to the workshops, you can visit our educational pathway to check exhibitors, including community colleges, California State Universities, and other educational and community resources. Please note that today, Friday, from 2:20 to 4:50 p.m. and tomorrow, Saturday, from 9:40 in the morning until 11:50 in the morning, there will be representatives from each campus to answer your questions. We also have one-on-one help sessions with financial aid counselors who can help you complete your financial aid application. College counselors are also providing a workshop on how to complete your college admission application step by step. Additionally, we have a transfer corner for current community college students who wish to transfer to a four-year university. So please make sure to visit everything else that we have. We thank you once again for joining us at Feria de Educación. We hope to see you later and enjoy the rest of the activities.